When you're standing in the middle of a construction site or setting up a weekend workshop, the biggest worry isn't just whether a generator will turn on, it's whether it will stay on long enough to finish the job without pulling a surprises top that sends you back to the toolbox. That hesitation is what made me dig into the Honda EB5000 industrial generator before I even thought about recording this review. I've talked to a few contractors, read the technical sheets, and looked at what people who actually plug these things into their daily grind are saying about reliability and cost. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the EB5000 is part of Honda's industrial series, which tells you right away that it isn't meant for occasional camping trips but for the kind of continuous load you see in small to medium construction crews, site offices, or even a mobile food service setup that needs to keep a grill and refrigeration running for a full shift. The engine is a 389 cubic centimeters air-cooled unit, which on paper translates to a steady 500 watts of rated power and a surge capacity a bit higher. In practice, that means you can safely hook up a combination of tools, a 2 kilowatt circular saw, a 1 kilowatt air compressor, and a couple of lights, without worrying that the generator will dip or shut down. The real benefit here isn't the headline wattage, it's the way the power output stays flat as the load changes, something I've seen cause trouble on cheaper models that suddenly drop voltage when you add a second device. Who should consider this generator? If you run a business that moves from job site to job site and you need a dependable power source that can handle a mix of equipment for 8 to 10 hours a day, the EB5000 fits the bill. It's also a solid choice for anyone who runs a small event production company, where you might be feeding stage lights, a PA system, and a handful of laptops at the same time. The key is that you have a fairly constant demand and you value low-maintenance operation. Honda's reputation for long-interval oil changes and a simple, push-button start means you spend less time fiddling with the engine and more time on the work. The generator's frame is painted with a corrosion-resistant coating, so it tolerates the occasional drizzle on a job site without rusting through the first season. On the flip side, if you're an occasional homeowner looking for a backup power source for a single appliance, say a refrigerator or a TV during a storm, the EB5000 is probably overkill. Its fuel tank holds about 6 gallons, giving you roughly 9 to 10 hours at half load, which is great for a workday but means you'll be buying and storing more gasoline than you'd need for occasional use. The weight is another practical drawback. At around 120 pounds, it isn't something you want to lug up a narrow attic ladder or load into a compact car. You'll need a small hand truck or a dedicated cart to move it around, which adds a bit of extra cost and planning. Also, because it's built for industrial duty, the noise level sits in the mid-50s decibel range under load, quieter than a typical gasoline mower but still noticeable if you're trying to run it in a residential neighborhood late at night. I also paid attention to the hidden trade-offs that only become clear after a few weeks of use. The EB5000's control panel is straightforward, with a single digital meter that shows voltage, frequency, and run time. That simplicity is a strength for people who dislike menus, but it also means you don't get the granular fuel consumption readouts you find on some newer models. If you're trying to fine-tune your fuel budget, you'll have to estimate based on runtime indicators rather than precise data. Another subtle point is the lack of a built-in automatic voltage regulator that can smooth out spikes from the grid. For most tools, the generator's internal regulation is enough, but if you're running sensitive medical equipment or high-end audio gear, you might want an external UPS to guarantee a perfectly clean sine wave. Bottom line, the Honda EB5000 industrial generator delivers what it promises for the audience. It's aimed at steady, reliable power for a mixed load over a full workday, with minimal maintenance headaches. It shines when you need that kind of durability and you're prepared to handle the size and fuel considerations that come with a true industrial-grade unit. If you're looking for a lightweight, quiet, occasional backup, you'll probably be happier with a smaller inverter or a portable propane model. For the contractor, event crew, or mobile business that can accommodate the weight and fuel needs, the value comes from the peace of mind that the generator won't quit mid-project. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon.